Right now, cities across the South and Midwest waking up to weather damage. Chris joins us again with a look at the severe storms that have been moving across the country. Chris.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Benny. A lot of people are going to be cleaning up today, and also the National Weather Service is going to be really busy seeing if it was a tornado or not in a few locations. So just take a look at some of this video. This is out of Texas, where you can actually see a downpour, and this storm chaser is trying to depict here and then trying to help a stranded motorist. So reported winds in the triple digits, supposedly, and this can sometimes happen from a wet microburst, so you can have a downburst of winds that can sometimes exceed over 100 miles per hour. And then, hey, even an EF1 produces winds up to about 100 miles per hour as well. So that's one example of what's happening out of Texas. And take a look here. Texas, the winds are so strong, knocked over this tractor trailer, and that's easily winds over 70 miles per hour that would produce something like that. And you can actually see the driver climbing out of the truck, barely making it to safety. Over in Missouri, check out this damage. Now, this video from Missouri showing that the weather was so severe here at this elementary school, they had to evacuate 600 students to a storm shelter for a rightful reason. It was right around this area that we potentially had a reported tornado.
We had gotten a phone call from a friend saying there was a tornado coming. I checked radar scope on my phone. It showed the tornado in Neosho. And so we were preparing to go to the shelter. And then the storm came. By the time we got in the car to go, this had all happened. I was in the house. I heard a really loud bang, which must have been this, and a crack, which probably was that. God was very gracious to us, and we were praying, and we got to the shelter okay. We got back okay, but we have this to deal with now, and it's a matter of time, that's all.
And millions still remain under severe weather threats for today, which, by the way, radar scope that man said he uses, I use it. It's fantastic. It's a great one where you can actually see the dual pole radar, which allows you to see the velocity or if there's any curvature or spin to some of these storms. Now, here is the current system. We actually have active warnings associated with this. This is a stationary front or a quasi-stationary front, so it's barely moving. And that is going to take its time getting here. But then once it starts moving, it's moving at such a slow pace. That's why our rain chances are really up in the air for what we're going to see on Saturday. But right now, as I'm speaking, we're actually turning into more of a flood threat. All these green boxes representing either flood warning to a flash flood warning, and even some embedded severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Multiple wind damage reports have been coming out of this. A lot of hail associated with this over the last 12 to 24 hours. I even saw some reports of golf ball size hail associated with that. And there was also a tornado report that took off some roofs, a really nasty storm system. And you can see wind gusts, wind damage reports all the way from New York sliding all the way through Texas. So it really just shows the magnitude of that system where over 60 million people are now impacted yet again in the same area.